So thank you all for joining me today. I appreciate your being here. So I want to talk about something. I walked into this church one time. It was a Baptist church, and none of the women had pants. They were all in skirts, and none of the women were wearing makeup. Well, I wear makeup. And I had capri pants on, and I had sandals because it was summertime, and I also paint my toenails. So I felt instantly awkward when I looked at how the rest of the women were dressed. Now, I'm not saying I was wrong and they were right, or they were wrong and I was right. That's not the point of this at all. I've got a couple points that I do want to make, but that's not one of them. So, in the book of Enoch, it talks about the fallen angels and what they taught man. And it says, the beautifying of the eyelids and all kinds of costly stones and all coloring tinctures. So my point is this: if we're going to tell women they cannot wear makeup based upon a passage in the book of Enoch, then why are we not using the rest of the book of Enoch? That's one of the points. I have 2 points of this actually. So I wanted to mention that because it does say in Deuteronomy 22:5, a woman shall not wear a man's apparel, nor shall a man put on a woman's garment. For whoever does such things is abhorrent to the Lord your God. So if we think about what were people wearing back then? Well, pants weren't a thing. A woman would have worn like a long skirt or a long dress. And if you think about it, all of the things that they show men wearing, men wore sort of like a tunic, like something that would go to their mid-calf, so to speak, but nobody was wearing any pants. This doesn't really have anything to do with pants, but it's just so interesting that now in our culture, because of what this is really talking about, it's just so interesting that now in our culture we have people wearing the clothing of another, so in an effort to pass as another. So the whole thing is just so interesting now with the culture in which we live. So there were some things going on at that time with some pagan practices and goddesses involved. It isn't necessarily about women wearing pants. It's about other things. There is a verse that I do want to share just because we need to touch on this, just because in case people think that the Bible says something about women wearing makeup. It's 1 Timothy 2, verse 9. Also, that the women should dress themselves modestly and decently in suitable clothing, not with their hair braided or with gold, pearls, or expensive clothes, but with good works, as is proper for women who profess reverence for God. And so, does anybody ever tell a woman not to braid her hair? Do they ever tell her not to wear her gold jewelry or her pearl necklace? We don't see that. So the whole thing about women in dresses to me is kind of interesting, because if a woman braids her hair, nobody says anything. And if a woman wears pearls or gold, nobody says anything. But yet we have some faiths that require that women wear dresses. And I'm not saying they're right. I'm not saying they're wrong. I just think it's interesting. There's other things that never seem to be mentioned. And so in our culture now, where we have people who are dressing in an attempt to pass, to look like, to be something that they're not, that's the whole purpose that I wanted to share this with all of you. So, armor up, we ride at dawn. May God bless you as always. Have a great day.